exclusively for Dynamis, the Dutch magazine for classical homeopathy. We're very proud to interview Janett Banerjea and Subrata Banerjea.
Thank you.
Welcome. Would you like to introduce yourself as a homeopath? What are you doing? Where are you working?
Yes, I have been a homeopath for 20 years. I'm a lay homeopath and I practice in Chelmsford, Essex, England, and have done for about 15 years. Prior to that, I was practicing in a village community, but I also practiced in the city at the same time. And I have been teaching for almost 20 years as well. And my job in the teaching that I do is to shape the professional in case taking, in professional development, personal development, and how to manage the case. So I do a lot of organon work.
Thank you. And
I have inherited my homeopathic blood through 4 generations. My great-great-grandfather was a homeopath. My granddad was a homeopath who learned his miasm and mathematica from John Henry Allen back in the United States and passed his wisdom to his son, my uncle, and I'm in the 4th generation. I learned and studied homeopathy first, obviously, in India. And I was the first graduate, homeopathic graduate from the University of Calcutta. I graduated in 1981, so it's a long time, and that time they have taken homeopathy as a 5-year full-time program, and you are recognized as medical doctors over there as a homeopathic medical doctor. So that's my background. For the last 15 years, Janett and I are together. We run a college in England, goes by the name of Allen College of Homeopathy, and we teach undergraduate and postgraduate studies over there. And one of the important things we do, we run a teaching clinic where we get students from all over the world, and obviously patients from different parts of the country and overseas as well. And we show the beauty of classical homeopathy, giving a single medicine, and how we can innovate in this drug-dependent inpatient world.
And what kind of homeopathy do you practice? You said something about Calcutta and the way it was taught there.
Today, in this lecture in Belgium, I mentioned about the approach of Calcutta's homeopathy. Well, these days, many people do talk about different methods, but I do not teach or preach, or Janett and I do not teach or preach any particular type of homeopathy. It is a classical gold-old heritage of homeopathy. The homeopathy taught by our masters, Hahnemann, Kent, Farrington, Nash, Tyler. So those classical old masters, I always take it back to the organon, try to implement that in practice. So basically, my approach of homeopathy, which is also Calcutta's approach of homeopathy, Calcutta is in the eastern part of India, is total dependence on mathematica. We achieve a prescription from mathematica, and we rarely look at repertory. So from mathematica, we come to the final selection of the medicine. And in order to do that, we give a lot of emphasis on mathematica, understanding the drug pictures. I also gave some emphasis on the lesser known medicine in this drug dependent world to wean off the medication and gradually input the polycrest constitutional prescribing. So those drug dependent cases, many times I prescribe organopathic medicine, which are lesser known medicine mentioned in the Boriki. And that's the way, I practice.
Janett, what are your 5 most important advices for starting homeopath?
5 important advices. My first one is to be inquisitive, enthusiastic, patient, dedicate yourself to understanding the beauty of the science, and have fun learning about mankind, because in the materia medica there is an explanation of mankind. And if you learn your materia medica, learn the sphere, the depth, the magnitude of the medicine, you can then put all your enthusiasm into practice by encompassing the materia medica simply.
Thank you.
That was good, wonderful. Like
You
that,
sound
yeah.
surprised.
And then you had some time for your 5 advices.
I think, I mean, what Janett mentioned about enthusiasm, about passion, dedication. The first and foremost thing I always say is you have to love this science, because it feels, can and may feel that mathematics is boring. But I always say to my students, I will make you a lover of this wonderful subject. And if I can make you a lover, you start loving Mathematica. And by loving Mathematica, you understand the nuances of Mathematica, and you can depend on it. So my first thing is to generate a love for this subject. My second important aspect is do not deviate from the basic. Stick to the classical. Understand your foundation. And if you have a good foundation, you can build up on that, and later on you can deviate if you want. But if there is a failure, you can come back to the foundation, to the basic. And that's the reason I give so much of emphasis on the classical aspects of homeopathy, to understand the basic foundation of homeopathy. Throughout today's lecture, I at least showed you organ 100 times, because that's the basic, that's the foundation. Yes?
Yeah, it keeps things straightforward, simple. You have a direction to go in with the case. You don't get lost. There is a beginning, a progression, and an end. Simple.
And that's important. I also like to give emphasis that if you're being introduced to very many methods, many times I have seen in my lectures in different parts of the world that the people and the students get confused. And this confusion is dangerous. That's killing for homeopathy. A beginner should have total non-confused way of looking at homeopathy. And that's the reason, the only way you can do that by giving the solid concept of homeopathy, the basic foundation of homeopathy in a non-confused way. And then they are non-confused, they know their basic. After that they can explore, and that's quite important in homeopathy. 2 more things I'd like to mention. One is, to be a good homeopath, you always need patience and understanding. This patience is, after giving a medicine, you should not jump to repeat the medicine. You should understand the philosophy and give time to your patient as well, so that you understand the follow-up, in which direction the patient is progressing, and that's important. And last but not the least, homeopathy is not only a science, it is an art. So you have to be an artist as well as, master the science. So there is an artistic approach and a scientific approach. The artistic approach is to get the case well taken. And that's in a short time, even if it is half an hour, 1 hour, whatever, to get every aspect of the case taken, which is the artistic approach. And the scientific approach is then, if a case well taken, Ken says it is half cured. So if a case is well taken, from the classical point of view, is boom, 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 boom. These are the symptom matching, go for the kill. Go for the medicine.
And this is why we need the inquisitiveness, we need the interest to take the case
properly,
efficiently.